G-Paw, I think you might be muted. Message him on there.
3:03 p.m. One notification on stream. 3 minutes ago. On stream. Notification. Messages. Search. Page 1 of 4. Page 2 of YouTube. Double tap to open. Join us on Sunday, July 5th and Melton Post. Tap 4. Join behind the scenes with Will and 217 Python. Tap button. Tap button. New notification. Renal standard moderator. Ribbon Force Cloud Factory. New notification for UVM1. New notification Fox Nation Upload. New notification Listen Ribbon Force Cloud Factory. Behind the scenes. Chat message input. Chat. Ellipsis. Text view. Chat message. Cap M. Cap M. I. Space. D. Space. I. O. O. Space. S. S. O. O. D. N. D. Space. Send. Button. Send. Dim. Video call. Video player. Collapse video. Button. New notification list. Ribbon Force Cloud. Button. Back. Button. Close. Button. 3:04 p.m. Status bar item. Selected. Home. Selected. Home. YouTube. Search. Button. Notifications. Button. Messages inbox. Button. OESV. 29% battery power. Search. Button. Notifications. Back. Button. Mentions. Your channel. Import. New notification of Town Audits. Don't uploaded. New notification Ribbon Force Cloud. New notification. New notification Ribbon Force Cloud Factory uploaded. July 5th. New notification for UVM today. Heading. Ribbon Force Cloud Factory. Behind the scenes. July 5th. Video player. Button. Eyes player controls. Chat message input. Chat. Ellipsis. Text field. Chat message input. Chat. Ellipsis.
Sorry, everybody. I think G-Paw is having problems with his audio. Just give us a few moments here while he's doing that. I can hear myself on YouTube. Just give us a few moments here while he's doing that. I can hear myself on YouTube.
Chat message input. Adding up. That's 3600. That green moderator. Ribbon Force moderator. Trying to fix. Button. That's 3679 moderator. What's up? That the shield. That winner. That piece is that's it. That green. That clock. That green. That green. That winner. That's it. That's it. That green. That's it. That's it. That green.
While they're going and fixing that, I'm going to go into the chat and welcome in everybody. We got Sammy. What's up, Sammy? Welcome in. We appreciate you coming in. Cynthia, we appreciate you coming into the chat. We have Miss Karina, Miss G-Paw, G-Y, G-Ma. And then we got Void Center Serpents. We got Dustin from Clowning Around. Appreciate you coming in. What's up, Keys? Appreciate you coming in. And we got Sammy again. Then we got Will and Audra. They're backstage. We always appreciate them. It's going to be a great show. While we're waiting on G-Paw and G-Ma, make sure you go there and smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and go out and check out the previous shows that we've done. It's always greatly appreciated to support the channel. No, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, G-Paw.
I don't know what the problem was, but we got it going.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody ask you today to keep Mike's daughter in prayer. She's in the emergency room right now. And also, I believe it's Fred at FNA. His father fell and had a hemorrhage today. He's been in surgery. So ask everyone to reach out to them, keep them in your thoughts and prayers as well. We have a great show coming up. Unfortunately, we've had some technical difficulties, no idea why. But we're just gonna go ahead and get with it, Mike. Unless you've got something to add, we'll go ahead and bring our guest out.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody coming in every week.
Welcome, y'all.
Hey guys.
How is it's South Carolina, right?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah, it's hot.
Very hot.
I'll bet. So, introduce yourself. I know most of the people out here know who you are, but tell us about who you are and what you are and what got you here, and we'll come up with some questions after that, okay?
Sure. I'm Will, Audra.
Hi.
We got into the reptile hobby pretty much straight into crested geckos first. We were previously law enforcement. I was an officer for 10 years. Audra was a dispatcher as well as a sheriff deputy. For how many years?
Dispatch, I was 3.5, 4, and sheriff's deputy about the same.
Right. So a little over 6 years.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much a situation where you're kind of burning the candle at both ends, never really making ends meet. We also have 4 children. And through this process of kind of transitioning out of law enforcement, we got heavily into the reptiles. It really brought the entire family together.
Yes, it did.
Right.
We really kind of mapped out a business plan when we really first got started. We were keepers probably for the first 1.5 to 2 years of a very large collection, not really looking to sell anything. We were more collecting all the pieces we wanted to kind of work with, what we were having fun with at the time. And then we really did our research and ventured off and did so many different things when it came to the crested geckos, whether it was bioactive enclosures, getting together as a family and making enclosures with the backgrounds and the grass and the planet enclosures. It was really, really fun. It really brought us together as a family. The kids been involved in it pretty much since day one. And it all stemmed from pretty much going into a Petco, a PetSmart, and purchasing 4 crested geckos and being told all the wrong information at the time.
Accurate.
Majorly.
Yes. So after going down that rabbit hole and doing the research, I kind of credit a lot of our background in law enforcement and just in life period. We're just so used to dealing with nonsense and everything at work that we were mature enough to navigate through a lot of the information that's out there. There's a lot of great information out there, whether it's in Facebook groups or Instagram, but you really have to be mature enough to read through, get what you need to get, and kind of keep it moving.
Yeah.
The moment you really engage in the back and forth, it can get so bad, and we see it continuously get so bad where the people that are excited about these reptiles, they end up kind of leaving it right there and not getting involved in them because of the other people that may mean well, but we all communicate differently.
So we, did a bunch of our own research, and we probably, I guess, just started hand picking things like what we liked, what we saw, what we liked. It was preference over anything. We were our, number one shopper.
Yes.
And so as we started to build this collection, we realized, this could actually turn into a business.
Correct.
We sat down and we started putting together our business plan, and then
develop business name, branding. Started a little bit on marketing. We started marketing before we had really anything to sell. It's pretty much what started off as all brand recognition and just repeatedly just trying to put out content. We noticed it's like everything, you want to basically communicate the same information that you're receiving. You want to put it out there in the world. And we know, even as homeowners, someone come knocking on your door, hey, we can wash your windows, or hey, we can do X, Y, and Z. 99% of the time, you're going to tell, thank you, we appreciate it, but we're good. You're not really even hearing the message a lot of the time. So what that corresponds to or translate to in the reptile hobby, in our opinion, a lot of people wait until you're really rocking and rolling and you have, animals available that you want to get to new homes, and then you start marketing. And it's like, you can tell, you look at their feed, every post is, hey guys, I got this for sale. Hey, did you see that I had this for sale? And it's like, people don't want to just be bombarded with everything you have for sale all the time. They want to know the story behind it. They want to know, hey, oh, that's kind of cool. Did you see, what they did on that reel? It was real kind of informative or educational. Did they take something from it? And periodically you can kind of point them to the direction where they can find whatever you may have available for sale.
And a lot of times we would post things that were not for sale. Correct. Even when we started having a few things here and there for sale, we would post a lot of stuff that was not for sale. And we would get people to contact us. They would inbox us, hey, is that for sale? I really liked this one, this post you put up 3 or 4 days ago. Could we possibly, get that one? And we'd tell them, it's not for sale. And then sometimes they would push and they would say, I'll make you an offer. Could you at least entertain this offer? And so it just kind of went from there. As he was saying, like, we posted and posted and posted even way before we actually had truthfully a business per se. Right. We were coming out, we were like, people need to get to know us. Exactly. Because if you don't know someone and you don't get to know them, then chances are you're not going to trust them to purchase from them.
Correct.
So we just started trying to put ourselves out there, and I guess 4 years ish in, 2 of those really keeping and getting our name out there, and 2 of those where we started to catch fire with a lot of people. We decided, hey, let's get out from behind the computer screen and let's vend. And so we started going to the shows, and we kind of already had people that already knew us, and they would come out to the shows specifically to meet up with us.
Right.
And so that's where we kind of realized, hey, this is more than just reptiles. This is more than just our business. We're actually able to influence a community.
Yeah.
And so that's where we got into that. And then if you've been following us long enough, you know that I had this major fear of snakes from childhood. And we started to go to the shows and such, and I started networking with a lot of the keepers. And everybody knows that a lot of the shows are more snake heavy shows.
Right.
So of course I'm inundated with snakes, and he has always loved snakes. Like, that's always been one of his things. He really likes snakes. He got them for the kids and all that kind of stuff. But I just was so hesitant because of my bad experiences. But everyone in the community just kind of, I don't know, bonded up together and helped me through that. Black Diamond, Aaron Mathis, he was one of the main ones that, helped me get through that fear. And just Will being there constantly say, look, we need to get you through this. And so we started building a collection of ball pythons, and it just took off from there. Like, we employed the same concepts of our business with crested geckos.
Exactly.
Aside from the few mistakes that we saw, hey, we made a mistake here. We need to do this differently going forward. And we just got better and better and better. So,
and we also identify early stages, like what can we offer to the community. We understand, as far as vending, getting out, we want to make sure that it's an actual experience. It's an event, to actually come to the show. But you also have to, in our opinion, show that you actually have value more than just your dollar. Meaning, if your tables are X amount of dollars, are you just paying that promoter for that space? Or are you also letting that promoter know, hey, yep, here is the money for our tables. We're coming to your event. We're marketing. We're branding ourselves. And now the promoter has people coming to the door, getting in line for tickets. Like, listen, where's Flawless Booth? Or whoever the vendor is. What is the value that you're putting into the shows other than just kind of vending?
I think that was one of the biggest things for us in the beginnings. Like, it shocked us and was kind of surreal for us. And it will humble you.
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat. Like, when you get up to that point and you're standing there and you've got somebody coming in and they legitimately lose words trying to talk to you, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, you're the reason why I came to the show. Like, your positivity, whatever it is that they've connected with you on. And they're like, I just want a picture. I just wanted to speak with you. And it makes you think to yourself, man, I have a responsibility now to make sure that I give value back to this community, because this community values me. So,
well, you guys have definitely did that. One of the people I started watching up first was you guys. And I will say, I always get in trouble when I say things, but discounting anyone else, you are more professional than a lot.
Right.
Oh, thank
In
you.
the way you do things and approach things. And that's one of the things I learned from you guys is, we are brand new. October, we didn't have a Reptile of last year, right?
Wow.
Now we're pushing 100 probably.
A lot.
Yeah. Especially
It
him
happens.
grabbing up those geckos.
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of like those Lay's potato chips. You can't eat just one.
Absolutely.
But I don't have a dozen yet.
Uh-oh.
It's coming, I can tell.
It's definitely
Oh, it'll happen.
I'm
for
looking
sure.
for that sable.
But I learned early on from you guys, even though I don't have things to sell and I'm not at that point yet, you can still get your recognition out there, your name and your brand and things like that, and develop that. And I'm not on your level, and someday I'll get there. But I do have breeders call me and say, "Hey, I was talking to so and so, and I think I need to know you." And I'm going,
yes, that's cool.
"Shit," how'd that happen, right?
Yeah, great thing.
And talking about not only throwing things up for sale, the stranger clown girl I've got from you guys, I first saw her in the courtroom, right?
Right. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. On our episode. Yeah, that was really cool to create.
That was
It
fun.
takes so much. We're gonna bring out more of that.
Yeah, it just takes a
so
lot.
much on the production side to get that really
Yes.
rolling and be creative. And I don't know if you were able to kind of tell, like it was fun. It's fun to really be on that side of things, and that's what we want to really bring out. We understand that in life, you're going to end up, hopefully not too often, but you're going to run into an issue here and there. We've ran into issues with crested geckos where, we shipped the wrong gecko to the wrong customer because we have 20 geckos going out.
And
And
two
we
got
had to,
mixed up or something
walk
like
for 'em,
that.
and we hit the customers up, and we make sure we credit them and give them everything they need, and they end up helping us out and repackage, and then they swap and reship. And through working with them, we understand and communicate to them it's not always about the dollar. A lot of those customers, it's not been many, but we give them credits. We give them the gecko for free or whatever it may be.
There's not
to
been
remedy the issue.
Yeah, and there's not been one customer, and it's only been a handful, maybe like less than 4, I think, times in 10 years that we've been doing this that we've had that kind of snafu, thank goodness. But those customers, all of them are still with us, still shopping with us, still hanging tight with us. So it's just been a blessing.
It's also hard on the development side for the brand as well. For face value, when a newer person kind of sees us, we want to make sure that we don't come across too pushy or judgmental. We actually had to stop a couple, I can't really call them customers. I guess they would be viewers. They'll jump on your page. They haven't seen one of the 1,000 videos you've done, and they'll instantly say, "Oh, flawless. That's cocky." And that's not what is meant.
Yeah.
We put ourselves out there. We know we have flaws. We absolutely do. And that's one of the things we push. We know we're not perfect.
But we just strive to be flawless. And that's the thing, like when we came up with the name, so I like everything that glitters. It's very simple. That's a very simple thing. Like I like glitter, I like sparkle, I like rubies and diamonds and gemstones and all the things.
Yes.
I used to make jewelry way back when I had actual time to do anything else. But before jobs, I guess.
Yeah.
But the diamond was one of those things that I was just like, I think it would be cool to have a business based around a flawless diamond. And and two, like with flawless, there are so many different things you can go with it. Like you're not regulated to just one. Now, of course, with our business, we were flawless crested geckos. But when we started getting the snakes, we went more out towards flawless exotic creations. That was a little bit more like, okay, we can cover some other stuff with that. And, we've talked extensively. Now we've kind of gotten to where people just know us by flawless. And so that's kind of where we're at this point, is it's flawless. And we keep it different on our social media profiles and things because that's just how we foundationally started out. But they're together. Like when you talk on Flawless Crested Geckos, you're either talking to me or him, or Flawless Exotic Creations, me or him.
Right.
It just depends on the day, legitimately.
Yeah. Now, do you consider it a job that, I mean, because you love what you're doing and enjoy the animals that you're taking care of, opening up tubs, or, or looking at the the stuff that you're producing? Do you consider it a job now, or?
Oh yeah, it's still a
I
job.
mean, it's a job, but
it's a passion is there, absolutely, because we wouldn't want to do anything that we're not passionate about.
Exactly.
But when you're dealing with revenue and your expenses and budgeting from year to year and setting goals, whether long-term goal, short-term goal, or even immediate goals, you have to really look at it as a job.
it's the career.
Anytime you have 2,000 crested geckos and it's time to change enclosures
That's
week,
a big job.
and you're in there for 16 hours in one day, it's definitely going to be a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Need more kids.
And everybody needs to get bathroom at the same time.
Oh my God. It's like a symphony.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Symphony.
sorry, go ahead. It was
Go
like,
ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, sometimes the shows, I've been vending this one show here in Michigan, Jackson, Michigan, now for 4 years this past week, and I've done a couple other shows, but some of the vendors there, they're like, oh, they get frustrated because there's nobody really coming in and looking at their stuff. It's like, it's not just on the promoter to promote that show, it's on mainly you to get your name out there and promote your business along with the show, help that promoter.
Right.
Because your business is your business. Nobody's going to work as hard for you as you will.
Absolutely.
So it's like you've got to put yourself out there, and you've got to, even with the shows, yes, is it part of the show that you kind of expect for that showrunner to do promotion? Absolutely. Yeah. But that is not for you specifically. That is for the whole entirety of the event. So it's really necessary for you to promote yourself.
I'll tell you too, it's like this as well, because we know the ins and out from doing kind of like secondary employment back when we were policing. I'm sure all across the country you have malls, okay, where you go shopping. And here in our city, we got a kind of a janky mall.
It is
turned into, but it's very interesting.
It used to not be,
because you can really compare and contrast, and knowing now the inner workings on how the malls go. And I'm like, I don't understand how that would ever be functional. Well, with the malls, your stores and your kiosks, not only do they pay rent to the actual mall, but they actually pay a portion of their profits to the mall month to month. I never knew that. I thought they just pay their rent and they kind of go about their business. All the mall is offering them is access. They're going to open and close the doors. That's what they're offering them. So it still corresponds to vending or any expos as well. They're not going to promote them. They're not going to do anything. So essentially, you're still going there. You're paying for your location. You're keeping your inventory. You're working the unit. But if you don't market or do anything for yourself, they're going to end up closing down and turning into our local mall, where you hardly have any.
And that's the thing. It's like you don't. So our particular mall, it's called Westgate Mall. Okay. And we have a couple of stores, namely American Eagle and Hollister. Okay. Everybody knows mostly what American Eagle and Hollister are. However, there are several stores in there that are just off-brand, no-name stores that may carry T-shirts. They may carry comic memorabilia. They may carry clothing, that kind of thing. The thing that we're trying to get across with the mall scenario is that American Eagle, people are going to go to American Eagle because they know American Eagle, because they that
see
business
on TV.
Yes, they see the commercials, they see the marketing in magazines or online constantly, So American Eagle is doing their job.
Right.
They're doing their job for them. But guess what? Because they're doing their job for them, they're bringing in people to Westgate Mall still who may end up buying from the other no-name stores.
Yeah, they're just providing you a venue, a place to present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Correct.
Exactly. And that's kind of correlates. Like a lot of people, like Snake Discovery, you guys probably know Emily and Ed, great people. We spent some time with them. They're awesome. They're really very nice. She gave us some advice actually about YouTube. So that was really awesome of her. But they bring in massive amounts of kids, of families. I mean, it's amazing the amount of people he brings in. And you'll hear some people kind of, you know, I don't want to be beside that because it's, you know, blocking, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is their name is out there because they've done the work on YouTube. They've done the work to market themselves and to build this business. And they're bringing people to these shows who may, in effect, buy something from you or from the person that's complaining about them. You know, they're bringing in that you know, that revenue or that potential revenue.
And I think what some of them don't understand is we go to an expo and Flawless is set up here and people know who Flawless is. And you have a guy 2 tables down that no one's ever heard of.
Right.
And you have, say, the same expression of an animal, the same genes, and they look comparable. Yours is 1,200 and his is 800. They're probably still going to buy it from you because they don't know nothing about him.
Right.
They don't know who he is.
It's marketing. Effective marketing.
Right.
So, Audra, you answered a question a minute ago that I wasn't going to ask. But now that I know the answer, I'm just going to put it out there. Now I know what attracted you to Will. He's a diamond, so he's shiny, right?
Oh,
We're like cool, huh?
Oh, baby. That was
or is it you see that clump of coal and you know it's going to be a great diamond.
I mean, put it under enough pressure.
Oh, yeah, I'm under pressure.
Yeah, it's the pressure. Lord have mercy. Yes.
Some people think just because you're a husband and wife, it makes it easy to work together, and I'm sure that I'm sure it is to a point. What's harder, breeding reptiles or working together as a husband and wife?
We don't really have. So for the reptile businesses, we don't really have disagreements over that. We just rock and roll with it.
We talk about different
we
projects.
talk about different
things
projects.
we want to do. When it comes to ideals, it's very interesting because of the way we think. She's ADHD, so it's like whatever pops in her head comes out her mouth, and it's like that's the plan. Me, I'm very, very logical, realistic, and I run everything through my brain. So if I come up with a concept, I don't really even bring it to the table until I try to poke holes in it, try to figure out ways where it doesn't make any sense or it's not going to work. And when I can't figure that out, then it sounds like a great idea to bring to the table where now we talk about the issue. Audra's going to give you everything.
I do. I tend to overwhelm this.
Everything.
But that's the thing. Like a lot of things that we have done, you know, I may have said something at some point in time and it didn't make sense. It didn't make functional sense at the time. But then I don't know, 6 months later, we find that, you know, he's been able to kind of twist and tweak and make it logical and make it realistic, and it actually works.
That's kind of like me. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say sometimes somebody said, well, you can only do that 3 ways. I'm like, no, you know, with my ADHD and ODD, I was like, no, I can do it 6 or 7 times, and it'll take me a little while to figure it out. But eventually, you know, sometimes it'll take a while, but it gets there.
It does. It takes a while. ADHD is one of those things where it's a superpower, but it's also like a curse at the same time. When you get like in a hyper focused mode and you are really, you know, focusing in on that particular thing, you can really get a lot accomplished in like a small amount of time. But then, like, if you get off focus even a little bit, your mind opens about 100 different tabs at one time, and you cannot, almost paralyzes your thinking. So it's like it takes you forever to process new information. And you have to do it multiple times, and you take things case by case, because if you don't, it all mushes together, and then it's like you're in sludge or you're stepping through cement. So he's over the years, he's finally kind of understood that concept, because he's neurotypical. He's normal. And so he never understood that, but dealing with me, it's created in him the ability to understand those things and have a little bit more, may I say it, compassion towards some of that stuff.
I would say it's probably the same here. I have always been blessed. When I look at a situation, I can see 360 degrees around it. You know, and understand this has to happen, and all that kind of thing. And I can process it easy. and she sees something that's like, oh, okay, got to figure this out first. And
Mhm.
it's just we all process things different. We all assimilate information differently, and you have to do what works best for you and find a way to work it for both of you.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
who is the dreamer and who's the hold on? Let's check the spreadsheet person.
I don't know, because so I dream a lot. I've a lot of dreams, a lot of like almost unrealistic dreams and expectations of what we can do sometimes. He's more realistic and logical, but at the same time, I am the one that I'm like, oh, pump the brakes, because I'm not as sure of my dreams and stuff as he is. When he legitimately has a dream and he makes it logical and realistic, it's time to go, and he presses the gas and
It
it's
don't
go.
matter if it takes
all
5
go.
years
Yeah.
or 6 months, we're gonna make this thing happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part. We also have kids where they're 14, 15, and 14, 15, 17.
No.
Right? 14, 16, 17.
14, 16, 17.
14, 16,
almost
17.
15, 16, 17.
Right. And it's very interesting. They're all boys. Our oldest is our daughter, but in working with them and being in high school, trying to show them as young men, like, listen, the world out there don't care about your feelings.
Right.
We're gonna have to pull this together, figure it out the best that you can. Understand you have a great and awesome support system, but sometimes you have to do the same thing over and over and over again until whatever you're going up against breaks. That must break before you break. So just trying to show them a little bit of resilience and talk to them in that way where, maybe where you are right now is not where you're meant to be, but this is a part of your story. And if that means that even for a year, 6 months, or 10 years of doing whatever it is that's according to your plan, that's what needs to be done to get to your goal.
Mm-hmm.
Just check it off the list and move forward.
Exactly.
We're going to take about a minute and a half break and run a couple of sponsorship commercials. When we come back, I know you've told it probably 100 times already, but the story about going to the expo and selling like $40,000 in 30 minutes kind of thing, it's inspiring. So we want to hear about it too. So, but we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Tired of the hassle and waiting? Coco to Go is ready to use right out of the bag. At BNS Reptilia, quality isn't a goal. It's the standard behind every animal they produce and every product they create. When you're ready to upgrade your enclosures, make sure you choose the substrate that's triple washed, low dust, and built to deliver moisture retention for serious reptile keepers' demands.
Reptileads.com is the modern marketplace for buying and selling reptiles, amphibians, and exotic pets. Built by Purple Turtle Technologies, we're creating the most trusted platform in the industry. Join thousands of breeders and collectors on the most trusted reptile marketplace. List your animals, connect with buyers, and grow your business with Reptile Ads. Enjoy our easy access to stores as well as a genetic calculator for your convenience. Stop by and check us out today.
Looking to take your reptile game to the next level? Husbandry Pro is the all-in-one tool serious keepers and breeders trust. Track feeding, sheds, weight, breeding, and lineage, all in one place. Monitor your entire collection with ease, stay organized, and never miss a detail again. Whether you've got a few snakes or a full-scale operation, Husbandry Pro keeps your records dialed in and your animals thriving. And right now, you can try it. Free. Use code RIVENSFORGE. 60 and get 60 days free. That's Husbandry Pro, built for keepers by keepers.
We appreciate all the
Before we get into that question, what do you guys use to keep track of everything? Do you use something like Clutch, Husbandry Pro? What do you use?
None of the above. We kind of use our own system.
Yeah.
We're really, Apple out, whether it's MacBook or iPhones, and we just kind of really keep track of it ourselves.
Yeah.
We've been actually contacted by several companies on trying to sponsor us to do their program. So we're just kind of our options. Any move we make when it goes to that, with us we would have to transform our entire system, and we're talking about over 400 snakes. We're talking about over 2,000 crested geckos, and the lineage that's behind that as well. I mean, we've probably sold close to 9,000 geckos over the years.
Yeah.
So yeah, we produce over 1,000 geckos every single year. So the system we go to is going to be very cumbersome.
Yes. It will take us a long time to upload things and that kind of thing. So we, we've got something that we're kind of in beta testing right now, but it's not been released at all this time. Yeah.
Definitely entering the information is the biggest part. Once you get them in there, it's easy. But I haven't checked it since the update. Before they did this last update to Husbandry Pro, I was able to go into, say, your favorite AI program and sit there and speak all the information on each animal into it. Then it build a spreadsheet that I could import into Husbandry Pro and assimilate my animals into it.
Gotcha.
But you're talking 2,500 animals, that's a lot. So I can understand you'd need an employee for a month just to get it all in there.
Just to do it all. Yeah. I typically do our back end stuff, like as far as our website and that kind of thing. And it is a lot. Like, it's a lot just in doing what we do, as far as setting up the website releases and making sure for our Patreon members, the preview videos and putting together all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot. It's a whole lot.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and tell us about the story where you all went. I think it was during COVID, right? Or right before or after COVID?
It was right after.
It was right after COVID. We are really, really close with who we believe kind of the top guy in the crested gecko world, which is Brian from Altitude Exotics. Like, we're literally like family. And
yeah, that's our brother.
He's, we met him.
People for the longest time thought he really was my brother. Yeah, but no, we're chosen family.
Yeah, absolutely. So we vacation together, we travel together. He's been here actually to our compound and hung out with us. We've done kind of little mentorship programs. We'll do things where we'll run sales and events and, play off of each other's business as well. So we work very well together over the years, and to the point we've traveled out of the country several times together at this point.
We are so blessed
we're very, very
with that
blessed.
Relationship with Brian.
But we built that. It started off of just being customers of his many, many years ago. It's literally still to this day. There's no strings attached. He don't owe us nothing. We don't owe him anything. But we worked together with the Exantic project with the crested geckos. When it really, really started rolling, he was doing a lot of YouTube videos, and we absorb a lot of content. We watch everyone from the big names to the small names. We try to jump on everyone's lives. We try to be very involved in the hobby as a whole. And we were able to watch him obtain the entire Exantic crested gecko project at that time from Europe, where it was like a six-figure project that he brought. And I noticed when he did it, we were really at the beginning stages of even keeping geckos. I noticed he purchased it, and the project itself really went MIA. You didn't see him buy it, start producing, start selling. For about a year and a half, 2 years, he didn't sell anything from that project. And we were still customers of his through other purchases. And when he started making them available, it was Audra's idea. She's like, we need to get an Exantic. And I'm like, oh,
because our biggest thing for the longest time was high whites and reds.
Right.
We loved high whites and reds, or high expression extremes. And we mixed our high whites and reds to form a lot of our high white red extreme or high expression extreme red geckos, right? The Harlequin. But we also really loved lily white. Lily whites was actually our first, I guess, foray into buying something of an animal that was really expensive. It was like $1,000, the very first lily white that we purchased. And we purchased that from Zengex. That was Ash. Remember Ash? Yeah. She was a tiny little baby, and she was like $1,000 back then. And I was like, I saw the Exantic pop up, the actual ad on his website, and he had put in there. He said, I'm making this a one-time availability for now. This is for the serious keeper breeder that wants to get in on this project with me. And I remember just reading that caption, and it was like $9,999, right? So it was $10,000. And I was like, holy crap, that's beautiful. So over the course of seeing that posted, and then Will and Brian talked a lot, he just kept on, like, I guess our persistence paid off.
Right. I would ask him about, projects he was working, the genes, literally. And at the time, it was one of those situations where you ask a question, you inbox him, and maybe he'll get back to you a week later. Yeah. And he saw that there was like literally no pressure. It's like, whenever you get around to it. So we would talk back and forth to the point where, after actually purchasing that, after that, we actually exchanged numbers. We were texting and calling, and it just kind of built from there. But it was very interesting in the moment you saw that, and it builds up to the show. The moment you saw that, we were like, who's buying that? No one's buying that. We need to work with that project. And interestingly enough, that when we went back and grounded ourselves and started looking through the forums and the Facebook groups, and everyone was talking about, this guy is absolutely nuts. If someone is going to spend that on a crested gecko, he's losing his mind. It was crazy. So we ended up being one of the customers that lost their minds. Purchased.
And I said, let's do it. Let's try, Right. And at the time, I mean, we were police officers. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? We were still very much rubbing pennies together to try to make this work. And we were like, I just wonder if he might do a payment plan, and bam, he said yes. And so we got a visual female eclipse. Come to find out, she's actually hypo. And then we got an extreme tiger, 100% het male. His name is Shere Khan. And that started our whole Xanthic project. So as that year progressed, they were with us for about a year, and then we were able to breed them. And that following September, we had babies that were ready, kind of that we were going to, put up for sale or whatever. And that was the very first year we made a huge sale. We woke up one morning to our PayPal being locked down because the had sent us, like, I think it was $15,000
$16,000.
$16,000, yeah. And for two, was it one? It was just one. Okay, so it was just one, and the PayPal was like,
which what? Is a whole nother, probably 30-minute story, because if you guys, we do accept PayPal, but PayPal is not your friend.
Oh, yeah.
PayPal has a lot of issues where, at one point we had, 30, 40 grand in there from legitimate customers that verified receiving everything. And they probably sat on our money for probably a month before we were able to access it. Now they periodically tell us, hey, you can withdraw $500,000 out of your account now. We're not
doing that. But anyway, that gave us the oomph we needed to say, okay, we made the right decision on this. We're going full all in. And then fast forward another, I guess that was 2 years prior. I guess that was 2021-ish. I think it was 2021. And that happened, and it was just like, okay, cool. That's when we started getting into vending the shows. That's the very first year we started vending shows. And then I think, wasn't that right?
I think so. But to give you concept, we never, with the Xanthics, we never vended a show with Xanthics in person till last year.
Yeah.
We couldn't keep
them. We couldn't keep them in stock. So that being said, when we bought into it, there weren't very many other Xanthic breeders out there. And so we had this, amount of Xanthic geckos. Now we
continue to buy more
of, right?
Every year.
And we started doing the lily white stuff with the crested geckos and all that kind of thing. And then ended up we had some international from
Right.
South Korea, some
So we started
international buyers.
we have our import-export license.
Mhm.
We acquired that
Yeah.
a long time ago,
That was a
where we
long time
started
ago.
actually importing our own geckos in, because geckos, the crested geckos, don't need CITES.
No. Yeah.
So we went through all that process to do that. So we were able to import and export our
Mhm.
shipments, which also led to us talking to Brian, because he was already doing that.
He'd already
way
been
before
doing
us.
that.
So we were able to really connect through common people.
Mhm.
Isaac out in Korea,
Korea, yeah.
and the
Namhong.
guy Isaac in Namhong,
Namhong.
he
Mhm.
was kind of the broker where he spoke English and was able to correspond to the natives there and back and forth from the States.
Yes.
So he was the common person between everyone. And it came to a point where we were producing a great amount. So was
Mhm.
Brian, and he's like, hey, you know, Brian wasn't vending shows at all.
At all. Yeah.
At all. So he's like, how about I do this big old shebang show and we all meet up in Vegas and we really do it like huge, like a coming back, jumping back on the scene to vend shows. And I'm like, well, we haven't been out to Vegas. We could do that as well. So we actually collaborated where he shut down all of his exports out of the country. We shut down all of our exports out of the country literally for about 6 months. We promoted, we marketed, saying that we're going to go out and do this reptile super show out in Vegas. We're doing a big collab between Altitude Exotics as well as Flawless. We're all going to be there in person. And if you're going to want these geckos, no matter where you are, you're going to have to fly out in person and get these deals.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up working out really well. It was minimum marketing dollars, but by the time the show came, you had so many pre-sales and everything on tickets for the show that they had VIP. So when VIP opened up, and I don't know if you guys ever been to a super show, it's very large, and there's a lot of snake breeders that we met there in person for the first time. It drew a lot of attention, whether positive or negative at the time, we didn't know. But apparently it wasn't a very good show for everyone. But for the very first 30 minutes of VIP, we did 400 grand.
400 grand.
Yeah.
It wasn't 40, it was 400.
400,000.
If that don't light your fire, your kindling's wet.
Something. I've only ever been to Tinley a couple times, March and then October Tinley.
But it's one of those things that you have to understand there's a lot that goes to that. That is an irregular show type of thing. There was back behind the scenes marketing that had been happening. There were business relationships that we networked with. There were so many things that go into creating an environment to which that can actually happen. Mm-hmm. And I do feel like that's kind of like a once in a lifetime type of situation in that moment. It's like a perfect storm for all the good things that came together at that one time. And it showed our community that things like that can happen. Right. And I mean, I think that it can happen again, maybe not specifically with that particular gene, with that particular gecko and those particular people, but other things, definitely.
Yeah,
so it's just like, it's understanding the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always been told good things come to those that wait and have, the patience for it.
Put the work in, absolutely.
Put the work in, have the patience, keep the faith.
It got to the point even at that show where we even had because again at that show it was really, we were fresh on the scene for ball pythons. We still didn't vend with ball pythons. We just vended our first show with ball pythons.
Yeah, we just did.
But at that show we were meeting all the West Coast ball python breeders for the first time, and they were coming over to the booth like, what's all this we're hearing about the gecko?
Yeah,
like they were literally coming out like, this is a horrible show, but what's going on over here? Everybody walking around with it.
Maybe we need to buy some geckos.
Right. Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Antoine had put up a post on Instagram. He said, with the surprising shock of everything that has gone on this weekend, or with the shenanigans of this weekend, he said there is a sale currently on legless lizards. Yes. And he's talking about his snakes. But it was funny because it's just like, okay, cool. That's how it happened. So, no, do we feel like we want to give anyone false hopes of going to a show and making that type of cash? No, it's us explaining to you guys like exactly what marketing, business, networking, timing, all the things have to come together, and you have to put in the work. You have to.
That and amazing friendships that you've made, since then.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, our South Korean friends, like they're just wonderful people. They really are. They're good people.
What led you in the beginning to pick out geckos?
Well,
Love
being
maintenance.
being an officer, and at that time we were literally busy. So I'll touch on that briefly. So when I was policing, I was SWAT team leader. I worked third shift for 7 years of that. And when you're on SWAT team in our city at that time, you know, you're on call even on the days you're off. On top of
24/7,
that,
365.
when you're arresting people and doing your job at night, you have court during normal day people hours. So that means it's forced overtime. So you got to come back to work to actually be there for court. So in doing all of that, being a father, you know, husband, and it's like she's working at an entirely different department. So it's not even like, oh, you guys work together. No, she's at a different department. She's at Spartanburg County. I'm at Spartanburg City. So we were literally, I can even say it's been times where I probably haven't seen you for 48 hours. Spoke to you, but didn't see you for 48 hours.
For 48 hours.
So in that period of time, we really didn't have time for anything that involved a lot of in-person care, cats, dogs, anything like that. But I obviously, I'm sure she did as well, noticed that the quality of life, home life, was not good. It was just not.
We walked around disgruntled.
Yes, very disgruntled. You're giving your all. Is literally zapping you of all your energy, all your compassion, all your heart. And when you work third shift in police,
it's a whole different.
It's a whole different world. You know, whether you're pro or con for police, you have good officers, you have bad. I will say when you're predominantly just straight shift work on third shift, I would advise that person, if you're stuck in that right now, to at least try to take a break from it, get on a different shift. Even if you have to go back because it's more convenient for your life, just try to get on a different shift, because when you're policing, I'm telling you guys, daytime, you got to kind of work during the day. You're out, you're running around, maybe you're helping kids, you're fighting crime, you're doing all these things, but you're really having to, you know, use your brain and fire on all cylinders. Typically, when you're working third shift, you're not working with the people. You're working with the people that's not worried about getting up for work in the morning. You're dealing with people trying to break in people's homes. You're dealing with the worst of the worst when it comes to day to day. You're not getting that moment where I get out of my police car at 2 a.m. in the morning to help an old lady walk the street. No. You're not dealing with that. So you end up with that literally on a day-to-day, and there's no way to just leave that mindset at home. So you definitely need to change shift work if you can.
Not to mention, when we, you know, a lot of people will consistently ask me, still to this day, they ask me, you know, what was the craziest call you ever had, and or what's the worst call you ever had? And I just don't answer those types of questions because the general public does not need to know those things.
Right.
You know, he and I have both seen things that nobody really needs to see. And that's why when we came into this, you know, back then we came into this, and now we see like all of the little tiffs and little talking here and talking there and this and that and the third. It's like, you guys understand that I know you're irritated with X, Y, and Z, but this is nothing compared to that mom who just lost her baby or, you know, something like that. Like this pales in comparison to that. So like our reasoning for getting the geckos to begin with was quality of life. We have 4 kids, so he picked up 4 geckos, and we thought, well, since we can't be home all the time, since we were so busy, this would be something that we could take care of that's easy. Absolutely. And so that's just where it started. It started for quality of life.
Yep.
Well, I can only imagine that your relationship itself is better, because I cannot imagine Audra not having one shift where you're going out to work at SWAT at night. Is he coming home?
Yeah. Well, and it's the same. It was the same because I did. So I was third shift. I never worked day shift. I worked third shift at dispatch, third shift sheriff's deputy, and I was a street police officer, cop too. So that was the thing. It was like, and he worked third for I guess 8 years of his 10 that he worked, and then the last 2 he was on day shift, and so literally those last 2 years we never saw each other.
And then we're also different too, and we're not trying to make anyone that's listening feel exactly how we feel or think how we think. Our household is a little different too, you know. And Audra learned that with me along the way. Like, she may felt that way, but yeah, you don't, you know, here we don't say, hey, be safe, you know, go out there, be safe, you know, come on, because the job isn't safe.
No.
You know, you're talking about you're working a job where you hear gunshots and you're running to the gunshots. What is safe about that?
Yeah.
There is nothing about the job to be safe. So it was very hard to really communicate that, you know,
until I actually
yeah.
got on the street, because, and it was the craziest thing, because like he's been involved in 2 officer involved shootings where he had to discharge his weapon. For me, I've been in situations where I've had to pull my weapon on someone, or, you know, stand, you know, in a hostage style situation, things like that. And you don't sit there and you don't want to put into your mind, okay, I have this family to go back to. I need to be safe. I need to be cautious, because that causes you to hesitate and not make decisions that you need to make in the moment. You don't need to be you know, about them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what, you know, we had a firearm business for a while. Of course, I grew up in violence. You know, as a kid, my stepfather held guns to my head, played Russian roulette, beat me. You couldn't recognize me. My mama the same way. And so I've been through that kind of thing. And then in parts of my career, I've been involved in some of the same things. And, you know, one of the things we teach people when we were teaching gun safety classes and things, don't just buy this and go home and put it in a closet. A carpenter uses his hammer every day.
Right.
And you can tell someone who knows how to use a hammer. And in those type of jobs, that weapon has to be your hammer.
Absolutely.
You have to know when to use it, but you got to be comfortable with doing it. It has to become instinct and not, oh, do I do this or I don't do this?
Right.
And it becomes more of a survival. You're surviving instead of thriving.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. We were surviving instead of thriving. And this whole thing has created the ability for us to really thrive.
Absolutely.
So.
And it's got to be better for your children too, because you couldn't have been spending the time with them that you needed to.
No. Now we are like at every event. Yeah.
You got helicopter parents now, right?
We're there with them on. And sometimes I'm sure they would like go to work.
Go to work
because
getting them
I get them in the gym. You know, they're working in the gym. They're working them hard. I mean,
my mom and dad.
We're at everything. We're at everything.
Well, I know that I've seen Audra talk about it on the show with Stephen and them, things about how you get treated different in situations, kind of things like that. In public, it's going to happen, and it's bullshit, and it shouldn't. I agree.
Right.
Has that happened in the community, though?
I don't think we've given it really a chance to happen, and I'm not saying that it can't. You know. I'm hoping it don't. I'm hoping it don't as well. I feel like you really do get the energy you put out there. You're going to have, you know, people that, you know, are just going to be filled with negativity. And there's nothing that you can do immediately to really remedy that problem. We understand that we can't fix people. All we can do is be ourselves. So, you know, barring any, you know, physical, you know, assault or touching, like, we don't want no problems with people, you know. We just want to kind of stay out the way and do our own thing. And hopefully the people that we do come in contact with, we can kind of lift them up along with us. Same similar story with us and Brian at Altitude. You know, I'll have conversations with Brian where I literally tell you guys, like, his level is an entirely different level than ours. Like, I've never seen anything like it. And when I talk to him, you know, he'll ask us questions. Hey, what you think we should do about X? And I'm like, man, what are you asking me? Like, you're the GOAT. You know, what's going on here? So I find it very interesting, and it's cool too at the same time that, along this journey, you know, you make these bonds and, you know, new family members where you can tell them whether they're right, wrong, you know, about situations. And it's not, you know, taken overboard. They just process it for what it is and move forward. So that's how we are.
And I think that translates with, like, when you think about the deal with looking at us differently, you know, with dealing with possible racism in the industry or in any way, shape, or form. And that's the thing, is that we don't give it the power.
Right.
You know, if we notice something here or there, you know, it's just like, most of the time people don't even realize that it was passive. You know what I'm saying? And so we just keep it moving. Like, we don't have to address every single thing that we see.
Right.
We just kind of let things kind of go.
Yeah, because the bottom
the
line, I mean, if you know, the hypothetical situation, if we're wanting to be a customer of someone or whatever, we're going to buy something from someone, and we genuinely feel like we're being mistreated for one reason or another,
we just go spend our money somewhere else.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
it's that simple.
So at some point they'll either stay the same or
they'll change. And that's the thing, people can change. People can develop, and he is like, I don't know, he goes out there and he faces everything head on.
Yeah.
And he's so, like, I pick on him because I'm like, you're mean, you're not kind. Like, I don't see how everybody loves you so much. Like, I'm the friendly one, you're not even friendly. Like,
rough.
I tell him all the time, like, I'm the fun one, I'm the nice one, or whatever. And that people just flock to him. And I joke with him, but he really is a very kind person. Like, he just, when he opens up to you, when he's giving you advice, or when somebody comes to him, he's just so giving in that nature. And so I think that absolutely breaks the ice with a lot of people who look at him and think, oh, you know,
as long as it's not in the gym. In the gym,
you're not. Yeah,
in the gym, you're probably gonna hate me.
Yeah. It's funny because people are like, "Is he okay?" He might be so.
Well, you know, I think, and I'll offend people because I'm just me. I can't help it. I think real men are all the same. I don't care what you say to me. You're not going to beat me up and eat me all in one meal.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not going to come up to Will's face and say blah, 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 blah.
No.
But even if they come to my face and say things like that, I'm going to feel sorry for them.
Right.
Maybe try to educate them a little bit, but I'm not going to attack them until they turn it on my family. Then I get a little excited, and this old man becomes a monster.
I believe it.
And you don't want the monster, you don't want the monster of men coming out. You know?
Ferguson.
I've been picking with him because I'm like, you're getting soft in your old age, babe. But it's funny because I love seeing him soften in ways like with our kids and like the future. I can see him with our grandbabies, and I could see him being like a big old marshmallow, you know. But that being said, I also know that this man has a beast deep down inside, and it's sleeping. It's not dead. So don't test it. You know, it's like one of those things. Not many people have enough gall or have enough audacity to actually face him and say something like that. It's they may think it, but they don't say it. He told me years ago, like when we started seeing each other, and he was like, look, he's like, they're not going to come to me and say anything. While you're with me, they won't say anything. They'll wait till I'm gone, and then they'll make comments to you, or they'll try you. And it was funny because I was like, I was prepared for that. Now, did that ever really happen with me? Nope, it didn't. And I think it's all in how you present yourself.
It is.
I really do. I think if you're squared away and you present yourself as a confident person and confident in your decisions that you're making, and you walk through life with purpose, I think there is a big difference than somebody who looks like a target.
Right.
Because I'm not a target.
Yeah,
I really enjoy the videos on YouTube that you guys interact with each other. I just wish I could see your, you know, facial expressions and stuff like that, you know, that you guys do on there. And it keeps it interesting, you know, like when you were doing the court one with the ball pythons and stuff.
Yeah.
It keeps bringing people back and back, you know, it makes it more interesting and keeps them
absolutely
to the next show.
And like the video earlier this week, you're actually letting Audra talk this time.
I tell him all the time, I'm like, you just talk on. on and on. It's funny. Our good friends, Daniel and Felicia from the Noodle Group, they're like, Felicia was like, I can see it all over her face. She's like, I wish you would cut it up, shut it up so I could speak or say something. Time to wrap it up.
It's definitely, those things are who you are and how you carry and present yourself.
Yes.
And it's attitudes too, right? And I've seen it on both sides. I watch people on both sides. I've got good friends in every culture, okay? And some of it is just ignorance because, as a child, we're raised, snakes are evil and they're bad. So people grow up being afraid of snakes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You have white people who say that about black people.
Mm-hmm.
You have black people who say it about white people. And if you're looking for a problem, you're going to find one.
Oh, yeah. You're going to find one.
100%.
But, I hate the whole thing, whether it's politics or whatever it is that we face in this world. We're all humans, and we need to love each other as humans, not political parties, not groups. We're all the same, and it don't damn matter.
Yes, 100%.
And I'm just that old guy who'll say, look, you're being an asshole, and you don't need to act this way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then she says, he's old and he can't help it. Oh. So how do you feel like, and how do you want the community to see you, not as a biracial couple, but as breeders yourselves?
I think we would like the community to see us as a few different things. Someone who started very kind of late in this present day in breeding, especially in the market of where we're in, where a lot of people feel, oh, it's saturated, or, oh, just another ball python breeder. We want people to feel like, hey, you know what? They did it. We can do it too in our own way. So we want them to see that there's plenty of life to the community as a whole, whether you're breeding crested geckos or you're breeding ball pythons, and be able to kind of put their own spin on it, because everything we do, we're looking for whole back animals. We want to really work our projects and not really going down the path of what we're seeing everyone else do. So that's what we really want people to really see about us. So, yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that, we want people to see and get that positivity, the ability to, see that there are so many worse things in life, and that if you don't have anything good to add to the world, just don't say it. Don't type it. Don't say it. Don't share it. Don't do those things. I think that's the biggest thing, is that we are so drama free, and we like it to be that way. We just don't tolerate the drama. So if you're around us, we want you to feel good about yourself and about whatever is going on in that moment.
And along that way too, we're still meeting so many interesting people, to the point where we'll be vending and get a chance to sit or stand and talk for like hours at a time.
I know.
Actually, he's in the comments, Nick, a really, really good guy at 666 Servants, met him in a very unique type of way, pretty much in the parking lot of a show, that where, you really don't know each other and you're engaging. And it was awesome. When I say awesome, talking to someone, you're in different walks of life, different culture, and you're bonding over, yes, reptiles, but at the same time, you find out that you're more alike than you're. Yeah. So it's really cool.
Nick's definitely a fine young man. He's helped me a lot. And, I hope that I help him in return, and, talk about problems and different things. We've experienced some of the same things in life.
Right.
And
It's still rough to see him.
there's so many. Well, he looks like one of her sons, actually. So
really?
So we call him son. But we've had so much help in this community, and I'm sure there's people who don't like me. I mean, there's one who's a good friend now, and he's a fine man, who was straight up. He said, in the beginning, I didn't like you. I thought you were just arrogant or whatever. He said, but damn, I was wrong.
Right.
And that's what you have to do. You have to find out who people are and look into them and see, because you can't tell who someone is from a 30-second clip.
Absolutely.
No.
Yep.
Right.
I don't think at any point in time ever in the realm of ever never did I ever think arrogant and you would be in the same sentence.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, no, sure.
No.
Look, I'm a totally different person in the last 5 years than I was in the first 55. The first 55 is like you get in my face, I'll beat the hell out of you, put you to the side, and go, I don't do this shit.
Yeah.
You know, I was just my childhood just raised me that way and things, and then becoming disabled humbled me tremendously. You know, the pain I go through is tremendous physically, but you can get used to that. You know, I know people out there facing pain. You can deal with pain and you can get used to it. Controlling what goes on between these two ears is the hardest problem you'll ever fight in the world. I tell my children, you conquer this, you conquer the world.
Right. Correct.
You're the only one can
The
change
things going in here will lie to you and tell you you're no good, you're worthless, you're less than, and all those things. And it's a lie. And you allow yourself to believe those lies because it becomes an inherent problem part in you. So then, you know, I was feeling like not a man anymore, Will, because I'm not going out there making money. I have an income, but I'm not going out there being productive in life and things. And it hurt me and still affects me today. And it's, you know, those things that you have to deal with and build on from things like that.
Right.
But, you know, and I've said it before, and I know people get tired of hearing it. Up until October 1st last year, I've never truly thought about killing myself, but I was probably close because I was tired of all of it. I sat in my recliner, ignored the world. I didn't want to deal with your problems. I didn't want to deal with you. I just wanted to go to sleep and wake up, you know, every day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened. I started watching a few podcasts on the down low. Nobody know what I'm doing, you know. I never sleep. I'm always awake. It's just one of those things happen in childhood. Bad things happen at night. I can't sleep when it's dark. And same thing in career life. And I decided to get a ball python, and, you know, I was attacked by a rattlesnake in Appalachian Mountains growing up, so I was afraid of snakes. They're all the same, you know. And I decided, well, I don't want to be this anyway, and we got one. And that's where Riven's Forge came from, is somehow or another I named this boy Riven. And I can pick up any of these animals, and no matter how much noise is going on between my ears, it goes away.
Right.
And then I learned that if it does that for me, it will help other people. So I reach out to first responders, veterans, and things like that, who I know have problems with anxiety and PTSD or whatever kind of issues they have, and try to get them into the hobby, show them what these things can do for you. And then we try to donate things to them to get them started.
Right.
And because I'm not unique, and it helps me heal by helping other people heal. Kind of thing. But
Yeah.
the community has embraced us and lifted me up. She'll tell you, I don't know why she was still here, but because of this community and these animals, she's still here. She'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you know, everybody can change. Like when I got out of high school, you know, I finally knew I was going to go blind, you know, in high school. And everybody said, well, you can't do this because you can't see. There's no sense even trying to do that. You know, just kind of hang back and get you, you know, do this. And then I met my wife, and she goes, no. She goes, you're going to get out of the depressive mode. You know, you've been told all your life, you know, you're a man. Men don't cry. It's okay to cry. You're going to get up. You're going to show them, hey, you know, you're going to do this. You're going to finish your high school diploma. You know, you're going to show them, then you can do it. Then you're going to start feeling better about yourself. And waiting for her, I'd probably be, you know, sitting there just sobbing, you know, not having the stuff I have now. Going to, you know, the Office for the Blind, learning everything, and, you know, and meeting amazing people now, because, you know, that's what, you know, got me back into the, you know, the snakes. So when we first met, you know, I had a 10.5-foot albino Burmese, and, you know, I fed it and always cleaned it like I did normally, you know, and I got tagged. And she goes, well, it's me and the baby when she was pregnant, or the animal. I was like, okay, I made that choice. And then later on, I was like, well, I can't work with the bigger animals. I'm going to lose my vision. So I went, you know, for the ball pythons. But everybody changes, just needs that someone, or, you know, our family that can, you know, kind of give them that boost. continue on the right path.
It's amazing talking to people and introducing them to mics and things like that. And yeah, he breeds snakes and ball pythons and things, and he's blind. What? How? I said he feeds them, he breeds them, he takes care of them, he cleans their tubs. Well, how do you do that? I said he wants to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can accomplish anything you put your mind to. You just have to be willing to do it. And it,
Yes.
you know, like the show going up that we were talking about earlier, you just didn't pack some things in the car and show up and it happened. You put days, months, and hours of hard work into that to bring it to fruition. And you have to, and that's what I think your foundation has been on. You started in the beginning building who you are. This is who we are. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And now you're following up. This is who we was. This is who we are. And we are doing it.
Right.
And continuing to build bigger and better the whole way. And I think you're some of the most positive people out there, and we admire you.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, 100%.
Snake from you or anything else. And most people are that way, but there's some breeders who aren't. I can text one of you guys, and with that day, I'll get an answer back. Or the wife trying to find out she probably drove Audra crazy about Christmas already. And but it was amazing that we're talking. She's talking. When she said, "Well, Audra said something about these vents and things," and I said, "Well, we can find them or whatever." Then 2 or 3 days later, this package of vents shows up. That's the encouragement that people starting out need, and people who are looking for role models or mentors and things. And no matter what you do, there's people you look up to and you admire.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And it's important that you choose those people wisely as well, because you can go down the wrong rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, when I saw your all's, I know there's been other, blind snakes or one-eyed snakes before, but when I seen your all's video and, you were talking about it, and I reached out to G-Paw, I was like, man, I'd like to have one of them at the show to, show the kids and the people, hey, just because you can't see, whether you're human, animal, or anything like that, everybody has a purpose in life, kind of like a mascot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like my nephew. He's been on the show a few times. It's Dr. Ferguson. He's a doctor of, he has his doctorate in suicidology and several counseling things. He sets up homeless communities in big cities as far as how to push them forward and reintroduce them to society, train them, get them built back up and things. Man, he's got cancer, Parkinson's disease, all kinds of things going on, but he's still teaching at the University of Louisville and doing all these things, right? But he's funny as can be. He went to the pound when he got to Knoxville looking for another dog because they only had one, need some company.
Mm-hmm.
I knew as soon as I knew which one he picked, I knew why and what. He picked the 3-legged dog because he relates with it, and it makes sense. And he's a big wrestling fan. I mean, he can tell you who wrestled in what match and what year, who won, what the angle was.
Nice.
Yards, okay. And I said, no, what we need to do is get you in the wrestling business, and you become a manager. Can you imagine you come out with a walker and that damn 3-legged dog?
That's an interesting.
The stadiums would erupt.
Yeah.
But talking about misjudging people and things like that, and whether you like him or don't like him don't matter. But Jelly Roll, we just had the opportunity to see him in Orange Beach, Alabama, and I haven't been to a concert since I saw Hank Williams Jr. in the '80s. Okay, so I wasn't excited about all of the people being around because I still don't like a lot of people.
Right.
There's too many people to watch, because I'm always, what do I got to do in case this happens, kind of thing. And it's natural in you, I know, or both of them.
Yeah.
He made the experience personal for everyone. And the crazy thing was it started raining and the thunderstorm coming down in the last 15 minutes. And they have security. They have security and things there, and they're trying to get him off stage. He said, I've been to damn show before. I can go again. I'm going out in the crowd. They ain't going to take me out of there.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't leaving that stage. He was going to complete that show. But because he's a criminal, because of his wife and things like that, people automatically judge this man. But if you ever see him in person or have the ability to talk to him, he's got a heart of gold and will do anything to help anyone. And it was just very touching and healing in that. And some of the things he sings about touches me deep, you know.
Yeah,
So
he was just there Friday.
I think that most of us, especially men today, men today aren't men in the most part. I'm just going to put it out there. Our testosterone level has went from up here to like down here somewhere. Men just don't do man things. They don't. I'll shut up. But anyway, I'll be here. I know y'all love me. I'll be here for a week telling people shit. There's people watching you no matter what you do and what decision you make or what instance you're in, whether it's your kid, that person who's about to give up on life or whatever. And you have to realize how important you are. I mean, your head don't need to swell up and go, you can't walk through a damn door, but you need to understand your self-worth is enough that you're making differences every day you wake up in people's lives, and you'll never know why.
Yep.
Like this podcast, we try to focus on the mental health kind of thing as much as possible and improving people and let them know that everybody struggles. If you're not struggling, you're lying. And you never know who you're going to influence out there. It's like this show. I told when we first started doing it, if I only ever help one person and it helps one person change their mind, I'll do it forever.
Yep.
Because there's no value on life that you can place.
Exactly.
Right.
Correct. There's no value on a soul that you can place a dollar amount onto and say, well, they're not worth the effort. You know, I've seen people in my life who I didn't think was worth the effort, and now they're some amazing people. You know, for one is I was raised in Mayberry, USA. Went to college in Columbus, Ohio, and it was a culture shock. Because, I mean, where I grew up, the fire station sounds an alarm at 7 p.m. every night, and you better be in the house. That was your thing. Everybody knew you had to be in the house, and the streets rolled up, everything closed, and that was it.
Wow.
In Columbus, the first thing I saw, and I thought they were just really weird, you know, is walking down High Street, which is the main street through Columbus, Ohio, snakes hanging from their neck or this and that and all kinds of stuff. And I'm going, dude, this is, Hey, where I grew up, we had 2 black people in our town. Very fine young ladies. Their uncle, Coy Bacon, played professional football. And because of him, when I played ball, I could have cleats that would fit, because in the 80s, trying to find a size 16 cleat.
Oh, God. Wow.
You got stuffed in the size 13s if you were lucky, and you had ingrown toenails so bad you couldn't walk the rest of the year.
Relax it.
And so, you know, that I grew up with a lot of racism. I mean, that's just how it was in the South. You know, south of the Mason-Dixon line, where it's bad, and it still is in places.
Right.
It's always going to be an issue somewhere. But my heart was shaped in a way that growing up, I knew what it was to hurt and look at people and see they're hurting. And I did a crazy thing. I'm 19 years old. I'm working in Northland Mall in Columbus, Ohio, between after college, before school, those kind of things. And I see this homeless black man. And it's cold outside. You know, we got 2 foot of snow. It's 30 below zero kind of stuff. I said, hey, bud, I said, you want to spend the night with me? I said, I'll bring you to the apartment. You can have my bed. I'll sleep on the couch, whatever kind of thing. And that's what we did. And I never saw him. After that night, you know, I took him back to where he wanted the next day. I didn't see him again. And about 6 months later, I see him walking through the mall in a fine suit, walking and strutting, got a family on his arm and stuff like that. And he saw me and ran. And it's like, man, you changed my life just by showing me that one time that somebody cared. You know, what if I wouldn't have done that?
Right.
Would he have froze to death overnight? Would he have been murdered? I mean, I don't know that, but you never know what opportunity you can take advantage of and help someone.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say while I'm rambling on here.
All right.
No, you're fine.
So if someone new was getting into the business right now, I know everybody says, don't do it. We're oversaturated, this and that, and you don't need another ball python breeder. You don't need more geckos and stuff. What do you want to tell them?
I would say if they're getting in now, number one, start where you want to start at. So meaning if you want to get one or two and actually learn and see, if it's something that you want to do on the breeding side, or you may find out that you just want them as genuine pets to enjoy. You may not want, to actually breed. You may want 20 different ball pythons or crested geckos legitimately just to interact with. That's completely fine. But you can learn through actually keeping the other exposure of watching other people. And we actually see a lot of people, even on the ball python side, they'll get, a male and female and breed, and just to see if it's something that they want to do on the breeding side. We as a community have to be okay with that. You have to understand they're trying to figure out, it's not about breeding, a banana to a normal. It's about whether they want to do it at all. Maybe that turns them to a pet keeper and, maybe they don't enjoy the experience of bringing new life into the world. So maybe they'll stop facilitating it. It's something that they have to experience for themselves to really figure out whether it's something they want to go down. Because I will tell you guys, to be a warning, like it seems like this is going to be our biggest year yet. I was just checking, and I think we're expecting over 50 clutches this year. And it is a lot of work.
I said, he texted me because he had just checked for eggs, earlier. Was it earlier today?
Yeah. Yesterday, last night.
Yesterday, last night he texted me. And he's like, yeah, we have I think 32 in the incubator, 32 in the incubator, and 20. I thought you said 26.
It's 24 ovulations.
24 ovulations.
So yeah, we got a lot of coming out of bite.
So you're gonna have 300 to 400 babies.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. So
and then I was like, whew, we got about over 200 plus pups in the rat room. So okay.
Yeah, so we're rocking and rolling along, but also if that person is thinking about it, whether small or large, make sure you have the infrastructure in place. Like what Audra was saying, either the rodent source, whether you're going to feed frozen thawed, whether you're going to breed your own, or whether you have a rodent producer, make sure you have that in place. Make sure you have your housing in place. How are you going to keep them? Whether they're in enclosures or they're in rack systems. From day one, we've been trying to show our journey on getting to this point. We for a long period of time we had racks here that weren't even plugged up because we wanted to make sure we had the infrastructure, the ceiling of where we would ever be, and not necessarily have to add more racks kind of scrambling in the last minute. So we want to make sure that you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and you get everything in line for what you're shooting for. Then at that point, once you figure out that this is something that you want to do, now you have to hopefully align your goals with what you want. For us, we're shooting for specific things in certain projects. So we literally write everything down, pen to paper, to see what our chances are of hitting certain combinations, certain genes, certain gender, because that really matters. Because you also need to know your capabilities. Are you that person that's outgoing, hey, you do have 10 animals that are available, but because you're busy with work or just by chance, you never really post them, never really list them. And here it is a year later, you're wondering why you still have 900-gram animals that's still for sale that really wasn't for sale because no one's ever seen that they were for sale, just because you kind of of your feet. So you got to know and identify who you are on which side of the coin you kind of land.
And we've been very clear multiple times now that if you've been in this industry since forever ago, it's okay that you're not as prevalent on social media in that world.
Absolutely.
But if you are entering this business now it's necessary.
You have to.
It's
a prerequisite. Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to. So,
If you're going to do anything in business today, you have to build yourself. You know,
online.
I learned that a long time ago in building supplies. You know, if you're in sales, you work for a company for a while, and you build a big backing, I guess you will, people who buy from you. Then you're making all this money because they're paying you. If you're smart, you're taking commission and not salary because you'll make more money.
Exactly.
They come to you and say, hey, you know, you're making way too much money. We need to break this up and this and that kind of thing. Well, no, I'm not doing that, guys. I did this. What you'll realize is people are buying from the people. They're buying from the person, not the company. I could have been any company I wanted to, and that business would have came with me because they knew that if this happened, I was going to do this. If they had this problem, I would fix this problem.
Oh yeah.
In the same way you were talking earlier, I misship some geckos. I'll give them the gecko free, pay shipping to get it somewhere else or whatever. You take care of the problem, and that builds your reputation and builds your integrity.
Yep.
And that's the number one, I think, overall for any business, but specifically this business is it's customer service. Customer service is more important than any other, I think, tenet of business across the board. You have to customize each person's experience to them, and you have to have a certain guideline that you put yourself on, a set of standards that you say, this is the level of customer service that we are going to provide. There are no exceptions, and it's non-negotiable. And then as long as you maintain those standards, and even when you come across someone that maybe you can't completely please or whatever, at least you know you did everything that you possibly could do to please that person, and you gave A++ customer service, and that's all you can do.
And I also want to add, for that person that's interested in getting in or thinking about it, you know, I want them to come to terms with themselves and understand that it is okay to have a difference of opinion. It is completely fine to have a difference of opinion. I really think that is, I guess it's the same thing with people in general in life, but I really think that's the defining factor here in the community. I think that is the biggest trick out there in, you know, the reptile or even ball python community as a whole. You know, you have this person that loves their ball pythons, you have that person that loves their ball pythons, but, you know, you have keepers against breeders, or let's say breeders against, you know, pet keepers, and tubs versus enclosures. Everyone's in the same community. We can all legitimately coexist, you know, and it's fine to have a preference over another, and it's fine to have a difference of opinion, but I don't think it's fine to be enemies over it.
I've said it a million times. There's a Southern saying, so you might get it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I know that sounds terrible, but it just means that there are many different ways of doing something, and doesn't necessarily mean one's right, one's wrong, or none of them are right or wrong.
Right.
So
it's good to agree to disagree sometimes.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to agree with you, but what I do is I respect your opinion, and I take the opinions and the information that I can gather together and make the best decisions from those opinions and whatever information I can come up with, and move forward. Will I make mistakes? Will you make mistakes?
Absolutely.
Yes. But most mistakes aren't life ending. You know, compared to eternity, that moment of that mistake don't matter.
Yep.
So you don't have to get
That's
so
the
excited
thing.
about it.
That's what I say. I've said it a million times. We've had these conversations. I tell my kids all the time, if what you're going through, whatever it is, you know, won't matter in 5 years.
Right.
Like if it's not, you know, life or death, then it's not going to matter in 5 years. And you shouldn't spend more than 5 minutes on it today.
Right.
Because you're wasting time.
But we can't, you know, admit that we're wrong. Just like, all right, you know what? This is right. And it's like now when you're enlightened or educated or informed, and you sit back and you're like, wow, I see exactly where I've went wrong, you know, and I am wrong on, you know, whatever the topic may be. That person or group or whatever.
Or why.
That never happens. But
okay, now let me straighten this up. Will just lied.
Y'all, no, this man does not. He is never wrong.
But that's the key to it, right? Literally coming, and you already set your plate, you already ate, and it's like, oh no, you're wrong. And just admitting to it and just kind of learning. We get literally too stuck in our own ways, where if you refuse to listen to sound advice, then you're really purposely going down the wrong direction. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. I think the smartest thing we did, or I did, is in the beginning, of course, probably 99% of the people buy all this pretty stuff that don't lead to anything.
Right.
Luckily, I bought pretty stuff that everybody else wanted, and a lot of it I was able to transfer into what I needed and wanted to pursue. But my smartest move, I believe, was buying babies and juveniles, because I'm growing with these animals. I know their tendencies. If they're doing something, I kind of understand why they're doing that now or whatever. And even though it's been a short time, I'm the guy in Pensacola that if your snake won't eat, they bring it to me. I've not had one I can't get to eat because she's got a little exanthic girl that in the beginning, it just would not eat. I decided one day watching her, she seemed comfortable in my hand. So I picked her up, held the little pinky right here, and she ate. This one right here. And after the second time, you just throw it in there and it's over with.
Right.
But and then you get the people in the rack and the enclosure debate that you're referring to is, now I'm sure we get crucified somewhere every day because we have racks. In the beginning, we had 4x2x2s and 6x2x2s everywhere. It's not realistic.
Right.
But what people don't get is they're so uncomfortable in those racks and they're being mistreated. But here's what happens. You take that animal and you buy it from us and you go put it in a big enclosure and it will not eat for the next 6 months.
Right.
Because you took all its comfortability away from it and put it in a foreign location that in the wild they were never exposed to, because they're pointing out that recluse place or that dark, moist, warm place to live, because they are ambush predators. They're not out there crawling around the world trying to see who they can devour. But learning the animals and growing with them, I think, has a lot of value in it. Next year I'll have by spring, all of them will be up and ready pretty much. This year we had probably 3 adult females, and I learned a lot from them. The first clutch, I thought I blew it. I was feeding one night, and she just all of a sudden she comes out the back of that tub, and she's up there, nose everywhere, looking around. You can see her moving and stuff. I'm going, she must have reabsorbed or something wrong. So I offered her to eat, and she devoured it. And I'm going, yeah, it's over with. And 2 weeks later, here's 8 eggs.
Yep.
There's no set in stone. They all, people will tell you they're going to go off food for this longer and do this. Some of them never stop eating. Some of them stop. They're going to do different things, and you got to know your animal.
Just like people.
Whether it has to be a crested gecko or a leopard gecko or a bearded dragon or carpet pythons or blood pythons or boas, we got all of those now. They're all a little bit different.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But they all want the same thing, and that's safety.
Oh yeah.
And those blood pythons are interesting.
Oh yeah, they're very interesting.
Yeah, they're cool.
I was lucky. Mine came from Mosa. And that man handles those snakes every day, and they're puppy dog tame. And he still makes fun of me because when I pull her out, I'm still a little bit shaky.
Right.
I'm not sure yet. Because if she tags you, you're going to know you got tagged.
Right.
Yeah. A ball python can tag you, and who cares?
Yeah.
Like
you were saying, you got them from babies to juveniles and raising them up, but that it's a bigger animal, so it's just going to take you a little while to get used to.
Yeah, she's 3 years old, but if you ever watch Bosa, he handles these Sumatrans and Bloods and things every day like they're his baby, and they are his babies.
Right.
And
I know that something I remember just in my head, like it just popped back into my head, talking about blood pythons. Nixon Reptiles.
Brandon Nixon,
Yeah,
yeah.
Brandon Nixon. He gave one of the really good tidbits about bloods that you have to just make sure their
body
is supported. That's when they get uneasy and like they
That's
don't
what-
like that.
That's what Bosa said too, and he said, "Don't keep them at the temperature of your blood of your ball pythons." He said, "Keep them down, mid 80s, low 80s, and you're fine. You up that temperature up, you're gonna have some angry blood pythons." So luckily, the rack that she's in, the very bottom, the heat doesn't work. So that's where she lives at, and she's just fine. She never has a problem, and I love her to death. We got her because I only know how to do things probably the same way as Will, 100 miles an hour. If I'm going to do something, it's got to be all the way head first, dive in the deep end, and start swimming kind of thing.
That's why I went from October from 0 to.
So, I want to help other people, but I want to show children and things and the community that they're not evil animals. They're not here to kill you. They're not competing with you. None of that kind of thing. They're surviving in a world just like we are. And they're not evil creatures. So I told both, I said, I've been really wanting to get a blood python because they're a little bit bigger and girthier. And the children want to see these different things. He said, I've got one, but it's that I'd sell, but it's kind of got an attitude. I said, well, I get that. I said, well, just let me know if you think of something. And he said, hold on. I've got this beautiful girl, Dulce, who is just as sweet as can be. And if that's what you're going to do with her, I'm just going to send her to you. And we have been blessed in that manner so many times because I'm breeding snakes now because I want to and to see what I can create.
Right.
Not to compete with anybody else. It's not a competition. And I'm going to celebrate everyone's victories with them and cheer them on. At the same time, I do this for me. And if we, I've given away already more than I've ever sold and probably will give away more. I will continue to do that. Because it's the journey for me. We're not trying to, I want to rephrase that. I wasn't trying to build a business. I was trying to build a community.
Right.
Now, my wife works hard. Because of my disability, she got a degree in social work. She hasn't pursued any of that. She goes out and does daily shopping, house sitting, pet sitting. She hustles every day to see what she can do to help support the family. So now I'm seeing that, hey, maybe there is an income in here. And, if we have enough where we can get into venues and things, not just ball pythons, because I understand that if you have more species, it's easier to get in some of the doors, some of the shows, than just having ball pythons that everyone has. So, now we have all the snakes and reptiles I listed, but we've got
Crested geckos, leopards.
Just about every isopod you can think of.
No, we got 2 more this week.
I mean, we got totes upon totes of isopods. We quit asking that question. Now the question is, do we pick anything up this week? Not what did you buy?
Right.
So I have to go to FedEx in the morning.
But she is, in the way I kind of see Audra as well. Now, I'm approachable. You can talk about anything, and I will, in my element, I'm willing to talk to you. I'm not the one that wants to go up there on a public stage of 5,000 people and hang out with you.
Right.
But you come to my environment, my table, or whatever, I'll talk to you. But she will talk to a stump walking down the street.
Even if it's laying on the ground.
So I know that if we can replace her income or at least supplement it in that manner, and rodents is a big way to do that too. You raise enough rodents, you can support it all. That's what we found in our area, because you hear these people talking about going to buy rodents for their 20 snakes and they spend $200. That's a real possibility, especially in towns like this one. We pretty much can sell every rat we got every day. But you also, just like you have to be your best customer, as you referred to earlier. You have to hold back your best snakes to keep making beautiful ones in the future.
Right.
And you got to hold back your own rodents so you can support your future.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely a business-oriented balancing act that you have to figure out what works for you and which person in the relationship complements what the most. You know, I handle all the snakes and take care of feeding and breeding and cleaning them. Her, and we were blessed with a vet tech friend who was in here earlier, and they take care of the rodents. You know, I don't have to do anything besides this is what I need.
He sends me the list.
And they bring me a couple of buckets in and I start dropping. You know,
Oh, wow. That's
they
cool.
go out there and she goes out twice a day and checks the water for any, you know, chew outs if there's anything going like that on, and it happens occasionally. We've got thermometers out there just like we would with our snakes to make sure we know what's going on, that they're not getting too hot or those kind of things. But I'm blessed that I don't have to take care of the rodents.
Right.
And he doesn't deal with the geckos.
I know nothing about geckos. So I said, well, she got eggs. What were they? Eggs.
Eggs.
Yeah.
She had a boy and a girl, and they had fun, and she laid some eggs.
See,
you know?
we're the opposite. When people ask me about the morphs, I'm like, I'm just the handler.
But you two complement. I'm saying that to say you two complement each other well.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the people and the presence that you expose into or you present into the community, and how you handle yourselves and deal with things like that. And I know
Thank you.
that your own mentalities, because of this and leaving policing, has to be better as well, because they're stressing this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand, but it's a whole different kind of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Pales in comparison.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when I breed animals, I know I'm not going to produce the world's first, and I'm not going to have anything with 10, 15 genes in it. I just produce the stuff that, there's a few people here in Michigan, work with Sunset, probably 3 or 4. I've done research a couple of years, going to the shows to figure out who was working with what, what combinations. But what really excites me is when somebody comes up to the table. It's like, oh, wow, look at that animal. Look how bright. Look at the pattern. Look at that. That's what really excites me, as a blind breeder. Because, I'll never be able to see the colors anymore of them or anything like
Right.
that. That's which really, puts my passion into what I'm doing. Meeting amazing people like you all and G-Paw and stuff. But I've got a couple questions. What'd you call it again, G-Paw? What's the new...
Yeah. Some of the podcasts have like the lightning round and things like that. I think Lace and them do something like that.
Yeah.
But we have the firing squad. So I asked Mike this week, his turn to come up with some questions for you guys to answer, and then after that, we'll close and go on. We've had you for almost 2 hours now.
No problem.
It's going to be you guys until after a couple of days. I was like, yeah, it's this other person that's like, oh no, it's flawless. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. So whenever you go on vacation, would you rather be on the beach or a cabin in the woods?
Me, cabin in the woods.
I don't know. I like them both. I'm indecisive as it pertains to that. I don't want to be on the beach, but I think probably cabin in the woods more so than on the beach.
I'm anti-beach. Big time.
Yeah.
We don't like the beach.
Me too.
I live in Florida. I hate
I don't
sand.
like the bleach.
We'll just put it out there in case you guys didn't know. I don't need a tan.
Well, brother, what do you mean? You're kind of pale.
I know. You have a farmer's tan, though.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Whenever you
no
go to the show, sorry, it was lagging. Whenever you go to the shows, who drives, you or Will?
Me. I'm a driver constantly, all the time.
Hey, Mike, when you and your wife go, who drives?
Me? I just
Yeah.
stick the cane out the window and see over the place. In England, just opposite the other way.
See, that's the beauty thing about Mike. We can say anything to each other and it's fine,
Who makes the final decision on the holdbacks? You or Will?
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably keep all the
Yeah.
pretty snakes.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. And then we
Yeah.
that.
Oh, sorry. I have a lag. We got storms coming in.
Audra, I'm right here with you because we have a couple that were given to us because he couldn't get them to feed. Well, they're here permanently now.
Yeah.
I was like, they're not going anywhere.
No way. Mm-mm.
If you have a clutch of animals that you're trying to hit and you don't produce that animal, do you wait again next year and repair, or do you purchase that animal?
Probably purchase the animal. It depends on the availability, but purchase the animal.
Depends on the availability of the project, all those things.
All right. Another question I have. This one's going to be funny. Chocolate chip cookies from Tinley or ones that Will makes?
Chocolate chip cookies from Tinley. No contest.
She's the cookie monster. She
No,
loves
whatever. Keep on, Oreo.
I
Keep
thought I
on.
would throw that in there. Sorry, Audra. Do you feed African software or rats?
Rat.
Rats.
Rats. What's your favorite genes of geckos that you produce so far?
Geckos?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Exantic, obviously. Definitely.
Yeah, I just think that Exanthic wins out everything. Yeah.
All right. Since I'm a huge Sunset fan, and this one's for you, Audra. What's some of the genes that you like to see in the Sunset that hasn't been shown or produced yet?
I don't know.
You was telling me about Stranger
Yeah.
Sunset.
And I had mentioned something about the neon GHI boy we have. I would like to see what neon can do.
Yeah, not too many people working with neon.
Not many people are working with neon. I did mentioned our Pied projects. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways it could go with that.
Yeah, I mainly try to do Sunset, OD Sunset, and then some clown stuff to try to put that in there.
Mm-hmm.
What's one piece of advice that you got from an older generation, whether it be parent, grandparent, or family member that you use in everyday life? And what would be one piece of advice that you would leave for the newer generation?
Let's see. One piece of advice from my grandfather. Well, always have some money in your pocket. That's what he always has some money in your pocket. But what about you?
That's it.
Yeah, he told me always.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I followed it so well. My mom, she always said there were two things she always said. Cleanliness is next to godliness. You could smell pine salt out of her house. I'm definitely not as tidy as she was. And always never depend on anybody, that nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
I think the best piece of advice I got from my grandfather was this: you're not a man until you're 35 or 40, because until then you ain't got no damn sense. And there's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom in that.
Yep.
Definitely.
It definitely took him 40 years, you guys. We've been together for a decade now. It took him to the 40 mark. Yep.
Are you 40 and a half now, Will?
I'll be 44 this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I just turned 40 on the 29th.
See, I've been thinking I was older than I am. I thought I was turning 62, but I'm only turning 61.
Oh wow.
Well, there you go. It's not about the age, it's the mileage on G-Paw. That's what I've always been told.
That's what I feel like.
That's what I tell Audra all the time.
That's
she got a lot of mileage.
Look. That's exactly.
Oh, well, are you sleeping on the couch?
Oh no.
I'll put him in the
You need a
picture.
hotel. Hey, we need a GoFundMe fund. Somebody throw it. Will evidently needs a hotel room for a while.
In fact, Will's going to be over that 15,000 mark this time.
I'm gonna post an ad on Marketplace.
Oh gosh.
Husband for sale.
For sale or rent?
Yeah. On this time, this is the $500,000 they're going to offer. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate
Yeah, we
you guys.
appreciate you guys' time and coming on, and like I say, the encouragement you've given us, kind of things, and
Much appreciated.
definitely so. People are watching you out there, and you're making a difference, and you're doing good things, and we appreciate that.
A big difference.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
If you'll stay backstage for a minute, I got a couple of things to ask or talk about. We're going to go ahead and thank everyone for coming out and supporting us. Are you going to Daytona?
Yes.
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 An awesome thing about this community, okay? We weren't, because financials said no.
Right.
Yeah.
And on the RWO, I think it was, they discussing it the other night, and I said, well, I would love to be there to see you, but we just can't make it. And my inbox blew up immediately. And said, how come you're not going? we need you there. You're important to us, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, huh? You know, that's one of those things that you don't realize you're affecting people, right?
Right.
So he said, just so you know, you're going and we're paying for it. So
Aw.
you know, that's the community that we live in, and we deal with.
Yeah.
At least that the community that I'm exposed to, we'll put it that way.
Yeah. I'll let you know, G-Paw, on the 18th. I have a show on the 18th. If I sell anything to make that flight, you know, and the flight and the hotel, we'll split that. So I'll let you know if I sell something that way, if I'm going.
If you can fly into Orlando or somewhere, I'll make sure we pick you up.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. My middle son is here,
Awesome.
and he's my mini-me. Come here. Come here.
Yeah, I'm hoping I get to sell on it when I get to make it. I've never been down there.
What's going on? That's what I'm talking about.
He's a new father to be in September. He's going to have a little boy. October.
Yeah.
And his wife, he lived in Monroe, Louisiana for a little while, and his fiance's from there. And, you know, she needs her mother right now.
Yeah.
One of those things. And he's man enough to understand that and appreciate that. So they're moving back to Monroe tomorrow.
Safe travel.
Yeah, and he knows I hate every damn minute of it, but as a man, he has to do what he has to do for his family.
Yep.
Right. Correct.
So I definitely am marrying for that. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And I'll message you all these questions. I'm going to jump off completely.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll talk later. Now, Mike,
Right.
if you stay backstage or whatever you can, but I'm going to end this and spend some time with him. Thank
Good.
you all.
A good one. No problem.
Bye.
Bye-bye.